Good morning, Cancer. Welcome to your reading. My name is Ben. And alright, we're gonna hop right into it. So let's see. We're gonna do our usual spread. Past, present, future. It's good to see you guys. I know it's been a long time. Whoa. So we had the Ace of Cups just fly all over the place. Right into a spider web. So you guys are definitely manifesting love. It literally flew into a web of manifestation. So so let's see. Well, rip to that spider. I just messed up their entire web. I was gonna say, is it again? Two of Swords. Okay, so even though you're doing that, either you are indecisive or someone you're dealing with is indecisive. So, wait. Nope. They're like, not yet. Shuffle again. Alright. Done? No. So anyway, that was your day. Well, Spirit decides when we're done shuffling, because apparently we're not done yet. Okay. Oh my god. Dude, you literally just saw me shuffle that whole time, and the first one to come back out is that Two of Swords. Watch the Ace of Cups come out. Watch it come out. That's Two of Cups. Okay, present. Interesting. Ooh, I just did, Gemini. Gemini's reading. They had the Hanged Man as their focus as well. Well, for that person's focus, anyway. Alright. Let's pull clarifiers. Six of Cups on the bottom of the deck. Fuzz, get off me. Alright. Okay. Ooh, look at that. You had the Emperor and Temperance pop out, and you have the Empress over there. So, this could be a divine connection. Could be a twin flame. But it is a general reading, so I'm not going to say it is for sure. But if that applies to you, then you can take that, okay? Alright. Wow, these cards are not straight at all today. Probably because I'm so gay. Alright. Fuck. Come on. Oh, look. They came back out. Wait. No. What? Dude, I swear to God, in my head, I just saw this as Temperance, and then I pulled Temperance out over here, and then this changed to Judgment. Okay, that was like a glitch in the Matrix, because I for sure saw Temperance right there. Trippy, okay. This is the Ace of Cups. In this deck, but still counts. Everything counts. Okay. Alright. Oh, what the... This card was left over there by itself. Well, I guess we were just put it over there. Ace of Pentacles on the, well, what is now the bottom of the deck, because I think that was the bottom of the deck, and for some reason, it didn't get picked up with everybody else over here. Poor thing. Well, now he's part of the reading. So, alright. Anyway, I'm in a very silly energy today. I don't know why. We're going to find out in this reading, because I was fine 5 minutes ago. So, alright, in the past... It was the past. Good. End of story. Alright, let's move on. Alright, so in the past, take it how it fits. It was either you or your person. Somebody was very indecisive about what they wanted to do. Okay? But it's different than like, do I want to date you? Do I not want to date you? Right? That thing we see all the time. What they were indecisive about, or what you were indecisive about, was, do I continue to be single and work on myself and continue to grow and better myself, or do I take a leap of faith into a new connection with somebody? Now, the reason that it's different is because when someone's trying to decide whether or not they want to date you, it's kind of like, am I interested in you like that? Do I really want to date you? But this energy is more so, I'm doing really good on my own. I'm healing myself a lot. And I'm not sure if I want to give attention and commitment to another situation when I'm so focused on myself. Okay, so it's a different type of energy. It's actually the more healthy energy, because when someone, you know how people are always looking for relationships, right? Like, people don't like to be by themselves, which is not healthy. You need to learn how to be alone and be without a relationship, because that's when you find out, who you are, when you're not defined by a relationship or another person. So this energy is really healthy, okay? Whether it was you or your person, it was a very healthy energy to be in, where you were just healing yourself on your own, and you were deciding if you were ready to engage in another connection, which is good. So, with that being said, one of you was also more stable in their emotions, and one of you was more stable, not really stable, but one of you was more emotional, and the other one was more passionate. Okay, so you could be dealing with someone who has a lot of water energy in their chart, and then you could be dealing with somebody who has a lot of fire energy in their chart. If one of those are you, take it how it fits, but it could be two different people that you were kind of, because you're coming across as the Knight of Wands, so you were kind of like going back and forth between them. Maybe you were like dating, like, I don't know, I guess that's what people do, where they date and they're kind of seeing multiple people. I don't do that, because to me it just seems like a waste of time. Like, if I'm interested in somebody, I'm gonna go after that one person. I'm not gonna play the field, because I don't see the point in that. But I know some people do that, right? Where they're like, oh well, I'm single. I'm just seeing a few different people right now, and I'm like, okay, that's, you do whatever you want, but I don't see the point of that. So that you might have been there. Or if you weren't dating these people, you might have been interested in two different people, or these two people were interested in you, and you were kind of going back and forth between your options, and like kind of like testing them out, which is fine. You can do whatever you want, but just remember, when you're giving to two different situations, those people might get turned off by that. Okay, so you do want, or in the past, you did want a connection, not necessarily with those two people, but you did want a connection, one that is wish fulfillment, it's emotional fulfillment, something that's very loving, very happy, very emotionally open, very vulnerable. That's why this person is naked on the star card, that feminine. So you wanted somewhere where you could be safe, free, childlike fun, maybe very gay, because of the rainbow, which is awesome. But, all jokes aside, you just wanted somebody that you could be happy with, because you're already fine by yourself, but you want to be happy with somebody, right? Because that's always nice. So that was we do have the Four of Pentacles with the Six of Wands and the Seven of Wands. So it's a little like stick in the mud, right? The Four of Pentacles, your energy was kind of, you wanted all this, and you were kind of feeling out some different people that were interested in you. But with the Four of Pentacles, it was kind of like, your energy was feeling them out, but not giving them anything back where they could figure you out. It wasn't, even though you want this open connection with somebody, your energy was not very open to these new people. Okay, it was more so closed off and kind of like, well, I'm going to see what these people are about before I really open myself up at all. But the reason that does not work in your favor is because if you don't open up to somebody and they're opening up to you, that's a one-sided situation, and it's not going to end well, okay? It has to be equal give and take on both halves of a connection. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So, most likely, nothing happened with these two people because of that, right? You wanted a victory, but your actions were manifesting an ending rather than a victory. So that was the past, okay? And it looks like the card that we had is in between the past and the present. Okay, so it looks like from when this happened up until what's going on right now, you have gone through a painful ending. Okay, maybe somebody passed away, maybe a pet passed away, or you just lost somebody close to you from whatever it may be. Maybe somebody left or somebody moved far away. Whatever it is, there was a loss in your life, okay, between what happened in the past and what's happening now. So apply that how that fits, okay? But moving into the present energy, yeah, you're, like I said, Gemini also had the Hanged Man as the central focus in the middle here. So if you want to watch that reading, go for it, because that was a perspective of the person they were dealing with. Whereas normally I'm reading this toward the viewer of the video, but it was switched for the Gemini reading. So maybe that's the point of view of someone you were dealing with. If you want to watch that, it's up to you. But okay, so now you're in the Hanged Man energy with the Ace of Cups and the High Priestess, which is interesting because the Hanged Man is stagnant energy. The Ace of Cups is an overflow of emotion, and the High Priestess, it can be two things. It can be intuition and connection to spirit, or the High Priestess has that veil up behind her for a reason. It's still kind of hiding things. Okay, there's that veil to truly cover what's going on behind her. It almost looks like in the past here, you were healing, like I said, right? You were doing great on your own, and you were deciding whether or not you wanted to give to another connection, right? Because you're like, well, I don't need to, but I can if I want to, which is a very healthy energy to be in. But it looks like after whatever happened in between with that Ten of Swords, whatever loss you encountered in between these two timelines, it really frazzled your energy. That's the best word I can think of. It really threw you off balance from whatever it was. And because of that, it's kind of like you're trying to get your footing again presently, but it's not a bad thing. It's kind of like you were very comfortable where you were in the past. You felt like you were at a good spot on your healing journey. So you were kind of like open to engaging other people, right? So usually when you're in a comfortable healing energy, Spirit's going to come in and throw you a curveball that's really going to like take you out of that comfortable energy because you're meant to grow even further. So it looks like that's what's happening now, where Spirit threw you that loss, whatever it was, and now you're dealing in the present with the repercussions of that energy. So not only are you working on yourself, you also have some people in your energy, some people that are helping you during this and some people that are not helping you during this. So if you're working somewhere, maybe you have coworkers that are kind of just causing problems, but outside of work, you have some very supportive people. So it's going to be like, it's going to be split, where half your time you feel like you have to have this guard up with the High Priestess, and the other half of your time you feel like you can let all of your emotions out and be safe and comfortable with certain people. So it looks like it depends who you're around, which is, that happens a lot. But the people that you feel like you have to have your guard up against, when you have your guard up like that, you're actually manifesting a very defensive energy. So you're going to be receiving that back because that's what you're manifesting. Even if it feels like that's the right thing to do because those people, you're trying to protect your energy. You can protect your energy without being defensive. Okay? Because being defensive actually shows fear, and fear is manifesting problems. So when you're protecting your energy, you should be confident and comfortable around anybody and knowing that they cannot affect your energy. You don't need to be defensive because they have no power over you. When you're defensive towards somebody, you're giving them power, saying, I need to defend myself because you are more powerful than me and you can control how I feel more than I can. That's what you're doing when you're defensive, okay? But when you let down those defenses and you're just confident, like, you can't touch me, like, you could probably physically touch me and we might get into a problem, like a fight or whatever, and I'll defend myself, of course, but you can't touch me emotionally. Like, you can't touch me energetically, because I am safe and protected within myself, and my guides and my energy will always protect me. Like, there's nothing you don't have any power over me. There's nothing you can do toward me, okay? So like I said, you could get in physical fights and you can defend yourself, but when it comes to energy, you do not have to defend yourself. You just need to be confident in your energy. And people can't ever touch you when you're in confidence, okay? And exuding love like that, because that's exuding love, exuding self-love. So that's the best energy to be in. So that's your central focus, okay? You also have the devil up top with the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. That's your mental space, okay? So in your mental space, you have the devil as the focus. So whatever loss happened here, see this darkness on this card, how it carries over into the devil in your mental space? Whatever happened with that, okay, whatever ending, painful ending that was, it clouded up your mental space. So you now have certain negative thought patterns, you have certain attachments. It could be toward people or objects or feelings. It's the devil energy, right? It's attachment, it's codependency, it's toxicity. But that's not, you don't have to freak out. That's not a horrible thing. We all have that. I'm just saying that whatever you went through, you're now having to deal with that in your mental space. So maybe it's negative self-talk. Maybe it's, you're putting yourself down in your own head for certain things that you feel like are your fault, or you could have done this better, or you could have done that. Just brush off those thoughts, right? Well, not brush them off, like analyze them and figure out why they're there, but don't let them affect you, okay? When a thought comes into your mind like, wow, I shouldn't have done that, I should have done this instead, change it to, wait, no, I did everything I could at the time, and looking back on it, I see things I can work on right now, okay? Even just changing the wording up a little bit like that, it's healthier self-talk, okay? It's energetically, the energy you're feeding your all five of your bodies, your emotional body, your physical body, spiritual, astral, and mental. That energy is much healthier to feed those bodies, so you're going to feel better. So just change the wording up a little bit when you're talking to yourself like that. You'll see a huge difference in how you feel. Also in your mental space, you're just focused on getting your emotions back in check and getting your stability back in check. So you're probably really overthinking about those two things. Like maybe you had a financial loss or a very big emotional loss. Like I said, maybe somebody passed away or somebody's now gone out of your life for whatever reason and it was very painful. Whatever it is, those are your two main things that you're really overthinking about, is stability and emotion. But it will pass, okay? That will be resolved, because we're going to move into the future energy, which is beautiful, in a minute. So I know presently it's a little rough. It's not all bad, because we do have some beautiful cards there too, but it's more so healing from whatever happened with that ending. So maybe there was a bad ending with one of these people that we talked about. It's a general reading, so I'm not going to say for sure what it was, because it's going to apply to a lot of different people right now. If you want more concise insight, you could get a personal reading. But for the general reading, we're leaving it at that, okay? So just to wrap, that's pretty much what your present energy is. Just to wrap it up, you do have some beautiful energy too. Like I said, the people that are supporting you and you do feel very open emotionally with and very comfortable with, the communication with them is really good, okay? Like, they're coming across as the Knight of Swords with the Chariot and the Eight of Wands. So when you need them, they're there, okay? They're like charging right in, like, I'm on my way. It's kind of like if you were to hit somebody up and be like, I'm having a really bad day, do you want to go do something, or do you want to come over and talk? They're like, yeah, I'm on my way right now, I'll come pick you up. It's like that type of supportive energy, which is great. It's helping you because you literally have the Five of Wands clarified by the Five of Wands and the Nine of Swords. Okay, so that's internal conflict, overthinking, and stress, right? So that's your heart space energy down here. So that's a lot going on. All right, this is your physical energy, which is great, and that's also your physical energy. So, like I said, you do have some very supportive people around you, which is good. Presently, you're going through a major lesson, and once that lesson is learned, and you have learned all you're meant to learn from it and healed from it, we move into the future. Okay? You don't have to heal completely, obviously, when you move into the future, but you just need to be past this hump. You know what I mean? Think of it like it's like Wednesday for the week, right? In the present, where it's like halfway through the week, you got to get through that, and then the second half of the week is going to be much smoother. It's like at its peak right now where you're at. So, on a positive note, moving into the future, it's very beautiful energy. Okay, I really like this energy. It doesn't have to, I don't think it's somebody from the past. I think it's somebody, I do feel like you know this person. Like I said, if you guys are in a twin flame journey and this applies to you, this would be your twin flame that I'm going to be talking about, okay? But if you're not on a twin flame journey or you're not sure if you are, then just it's a soulmate, all right? Because they're both soul connections, they're just on different levels. So either a twin flame or a soulmate you're going to be dealing with in the future, okay? Now, this person you're going to be dealing with is a masculine energy, all right? I usually address this every time it comes up. Masculine does not mean male, okay? It just means masculine energy. You could be female and have masculine energy, or you can be a male and have feminine energy. It doesn't matter, okay? Energy has no limitation. It's just whatever you are currently in. And even when you're a twin flame, don't get caught up in the, oh, I'm a feminine, this is my masculine, okay? Because we've all done that. I know I have too. On the beginning of your journey, you're like, oh, okay, I fit this one, I'm the feminine. Or, oh, okay, my twin's the masculine because they're doing this. But you're going to see throughout your journey that it's actually going to switch about halfway through, where you may have started as the feminine, but now you are in masculine energy for the second half. That's where I currently am, right? If you guys have been watching me for a while, you know that I started this journey in the feminine energy. But I switch. I've been in masculine energy for a while now, because I already learned the lessons of feminine energy. I've already learned about codependency. I've learned about managing your emotions. I've learned those lessons, right? I've mastered those lessons. So now I was forced to shift into masculine energy because these are the hard lessons for me to learn. Like, for example, just to show you what I mean, my past relationships, I had two very long-term relationships. I had one that was 5 years and I had one that was almost 7 years. So for most of my, not grown up, but most of my life, right? From when I was like 13 to 23. Yeah. Just around there, or 12 to 23, whatever. I was dating people, right? I was in committed relationships. So I didn't know how to be alone. So I was in feminine energy because I was very codependent, on the people I was dating, and they were very codependent on me. It was very toxic, right? Because I had a really bad childhood and I was alone my whole life, up until I was a teenager. So I gravitated toward people that were just as codependent as I am. But after my last relationship a few years ago ended, right? It was really toxic. It had to stop. Like, it was really bad. I was still in feminine energy, right? My codependency shifted toward other things until I healed that. Like, I became codependent on work, or it's really anything, right? So now I shifted into masculine energy, which is really hard for me. Like, feminine energy, I mastered that. I've gotten over that. I love being by myself. Like, I've mastered those lessons, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys are on that point too if you're at this point in your journey. You're going to shift into masculine energy, and this is where the real work begins, right? Because if you're predominantly a feminine energy, like I am, when you are forced to deal with the masculine half of yourself, it can be really difficult. Like, I'm a huge advocate for psychedelics, okay? I know some people know that, some people don't. When you do psychedelics, it completely changes your life, okay? You realize that money doesn't matter, possessions don't matter, nothing matters except loving other people and loving yourself, right? I know I'm a hippie, that's fine. So it's really hard for me to be in masculine energy because I'm being forced to actually care about, like, finances and, like, like, stability and all that shit. I usually hate that shit. I'm like, whatever, I want to go live in the woods by myself. I'll bring my tarot cards with me. Like, I just want to go out and live in nature and be alone, you know? and live off the land. That's what I want to do. But Spirit's like, no, you have a bigger purpose than that. You're meant to help other people, and it will help you as well. So Spirit's like, well, here you go. Now you got to do this, 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 this. You have a schedule to follow now. And I'm like, oh my God, I hate it. But that's masculine energy, right? It's focusing on the physical, on the 3D. You can't just be all 5D, right? So that's where the struggle for me comes in. I usually don't care about 3D things. Like, I hate politics. I hate fucking the government. I hate all that shit, right? I just want to focus on, like, learning as much of the Akashic records as I can, and like all the 5D stuff, but you're going to be forced to deal with that masculine half of yourself, okay? So the whole reason I'm getting into this giant spiel about switching energies is because the person that's coming back to you, this masculine energy, has shifted into their feminine energy, okay? Like right now, my twin, she started the journey as the masculine, but now she is in feminine energy because I'm in masculine energy. So she is now codependent and going from relationship to relationship, toxic. They're all toxic. But those are her lessons to learn, right? I already learned those lessons. I already know who's good for me, who's not. Meaningless relationships are exactly that. They're meaningless. You may learn certain lessons, but you're bringing more pain onto yourself than that's necessary. So that's where she is, okay? So that's where your emperor is or was. They were in their feminine energy dealing with those lessons, okay? So when they come back to you, it looks like it's because with judgment here, okay? The reason you shift on your journey from one energy to the other is so that you guys can understand yourselves fully, because you have to heal and know each half of yourself. And because of that, you understand your twin. Like, now the masculines are going to understand why the feminines seemed like they were acting so crazy in the beginning. Like, why we were so emotional and freaking out and like, what the fuck is going on with this journey? The masculine were looking at us like we were nuts because they didn't understand, right? But now the masculines are starting to understand that because they're being forced to heal their feminine energy, okay? So when this person comes back to you with judgment here, that's what they're being forced to realize, all right? And I know this is a very long explanation, and I'm sorry, but it's important, okay? It's very important. And even if you're not a twin flame, this still applies to soulmates, okay? Every single living thing on this planet, every sentient being in the universe has feminine and masculine energy, okay? So even if you're not a twin flame, this still applies to you and your healing process, okay? So that is what's happening, all right? When they come back, because they've had this giant epiphany, because they're now in their feminine energy, they're healing it, they're understanding you better, okay? So what's going to happen with twins or soulmates or whatever, but I'm going to stick with twins right now because that's what's coming through. When one of you comes back, right? One of you is going to decide to reach out when it's time, when spirit decides it's time, right? You're going to start off as friends because, again, you guys know the journey is so intense that it has to start off small. Otherwise, things will really, really like snowball really quickly. So when this person comes back, you're going to start off nice and slow and small. You guys are going to talk about what's been happening in both your lives and the connection between the both of you. You're going to take it slow, and there's going to be ups and downs, all right? You're still going to butt heads a little bit because you're twins. You're always going to butt heads, but it's not going to be in the toxic way that it was before. It's going to be, you guys are going to be able to have disagreements, but be civil about it and communicate about it. So like, maybe you guys are you're gonna trigger them about something, right? Maybe you ate an apple and they don't like apples. But to twin flames, that is like the apocalypse, okay? And if you're a twin, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like, how could you eat that apple? I had this happen to me when I was like 7 with an apple. You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna bring up trauma that makes no sense to other people unless they're on the journey, right? So in the future now, when this person comes back, now it's going to be, that's still going to trigger you a little bit because you're twins, but it's not going to be the apocalypse anymore. It's going to be, wow, I remember this happened to me when I was like 7 with an apple, and that just reminded me of that when you ate that. And your twin's going to be like, oh, well, that's weird. You know, like, it's going to be more chill. It's going to be more civil, even though they're still going to trigger you a little bit. So that's how you know you're balancing out, right? So that is your future. Okay, that's where you're headed in the future. You guys are going to be slowly balancing out until you eventually come together, right? It's no longer like, if you think about it, if you have a pendulum like this, it's going to go to two different extremes constantly until it slowly slows down and becomes balanced and it meets in the middle, right? And even when it meets in the middle, it still moves a little bit. That's what it is, okay? Because there's always motion. A pendulum will never stand still because we're always in motion. So you'll always have that little bit of triggering back and forth with twin flames, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. So let me make sure I didn't run out of time. I almost did, so I'm going to end it here. If you want to learn about my website, which I usually talk about at the end of the readings, please watch the end of a different reading, like Gemini, for example. But thank you very much, guys, and I hope you have a great day.